Alright, so this video is going to be on the order of operations. For those of you that don't know exactly what the order of operations is, you probably know it by a more talked about name, at least from what I've seen and heard in different high school or middle school classes, is PEMDAS. PEMDAS is just an acronym that's used in order to remember the order of operations. So if we go to the next slide, what I did is I wrote down what PEMDAS actually stood for. So we have PEMDAS. If you look at the first letter, PEMDAS, PEMDAS stands for parentheses, so our P is parentheses. The first thing you want to do when you're doing these problems with the order of operations is you want to get rid of the parentheses. You want to do the stuff in the parentheses first. Exponents. Exponents are those little numbers on top of, kind of floating above your variables or your numbers that tell you to multiply that number or that letter by itself that many times. You have multiplication, right? You're multiplying you're multiplying two numbers, two letters, a number and a letter. You're bringing things together with what we call repeated addition. Division. Division is just the opposite of multiplication. So instead of saying, okay, I want this many groups of this, you're saying how many groups can I fit into this big number, this small number. It's the opposite of multiplication. The same way with addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction are opposites of each other. Adding, when you add something, you're putting things together. With subtraction, you're taking things away. Okay, so if you need more time with this, if you're writing this down, go ahead and pause the video and you'll be able to get all this stuff down. What I have now is I have a couple of different problems. It's really two problems, but one of the problems, this problem here, I wanted to do in two different ways to show you guys why the order of operations matters. So this first problem, the black problem on the top here, the order of operations tells us that the first thing you do is parentheses. If you look at this problem, are there parentheses? No, there are no parentheses, so you skip to the next one. Exponents. There are no exponents, so there are no exponents that we have to take care of, so we skip to the next thing. Multiplication. Is there multiplication? Yes. We have multiplication right there. So the first thing we're going to do in this problem is we multiply. What I tell my students in my class is that by the end of an order of operations problem, you should have something that looks kind of like a piece of pizza. The more organized you are, the smaller chance you're going to have of making a mistake. So what I make my students do is I make them kind of make like an upside down triangle with their problem. So if they're doing 4 times 6, I tell them, okay, well 4 times 6 is 24, and then you bring everything else down. So I have this plus 2 left over, let's bring it down. 24 plus 2 is 26. This is our answer. But if you look at the steps that we took to get that answer, you can kind of make this triangle, or what I call a piece of pizza, and then I draw like little teeth marks there. So we have our piece of pizza. In order to stay organized, well, that's a terrible looking crust, but we have our piece of pizza and we solve this problem. It's the same thing down here. Now if you look and you compare the black problem up here to the blue problem down here, the only thing that I did is instead of having the plus 2 at the end, I have the plus 2 at the beginning. Let's see what that changes. Let's see if that changes our answer. So first thing, parentheses, we don't have them. Exponents, we don't have them. Multiplication, we do have multiplication. So 4 times 6, it's still 24. We bring everything else down. We don't have division, but we do have addition. 2 plus 24, it's still 26. When you compare, the answer is still the same because of the order of operations. The order of operations tell you, hey, do it in this order. And because of that, it doesn't matter which order you put it in, as long as you have the same of the function, you're still multiplying here with the 4 and the 6, you're still multiplying here the 4 and the 6, you're going to get the same answer. And then the last slide, we have a problem that has a little bit of everything. And I figured this is kind of the way to end the video, because if you have a problem like this on your homework, on a quiz, whatever it is, it has a little bit of all of of the order of operations. So we're going to use every letter of PEMDAS in this problem. So first thing, parentheses. Do I have them? Yes. We have parentheses here. Now, what does that exactly mean? Because there are multiple things inside this parenthesis. What that means by saying you do parentheses first is you want to do everything in here first. You have to take care of the parentheses before you take care of everything else. So inside the parentheses, there's like a little PEMDAS problem going on in here. There's a little order of operations thing going on in here. So inside our parentheses, we're going to go through the steps now too to see what we do first. So parentheses, we don't have parentheses inside of these parentheses. Exponents, don't have exponents inside of these parentheses. Multiplication, we have multiplication inside the parentheses. So 2 times 1, 2. We bring everything else down. The more organized you are, the more likely you are to get this right. So now we reevaluate. Do we have parentheses? Yes. We still have parentheses. 3 plus 2, 5. Now, because 5 is the only thing that would be inside those parentheses, you don't have to draw those parentheses anymore. You can just leave it 5 and bring everything else down. Okay, now, do we have parentheses? Nope, no more parentheses. Exponents, yep, we have exponents right here. 3 squared, what that means, 3 squared is the same thing as saying I need to multiply 3 by itself 2 times. So there are 2 3's. 3 times 3 is 9. You bring everything else down. All right, so do we have parentheses? No. Do we have exponents? No. Do we have multiplication? No. Do we have division? Yes. We do have division. So 6 divided by 3, 2. So 9 plus 5 minus 2. Do we have parentheses? No. Do we have exponents? No. Do we have multiplication? No. Do we have division? No. Do we have addition? Yes. Now, we have addition and subtraction here. There are 2 weird rules about PEMDAS, and a lot of students forget about this. All right, so we have PEMDAS. The parentheses and exponents, they're their own things. But where the weird stuff happens is with multiplication and division, and then with addition and subtraction. They're kind of like equals, meaning it doesn't matter if multiplication or division, which one you do, but what you do if you have both of them is you do the problem from left to right, like you're reading a book. And what I'll do is I'll do another problem after this one so you can see. So we have this. We have an addition and a subtraction in the same problem. Just go left to right. So if you have this 9 plus 5 first, you're going to do that first. So we get 14. Bring down our minus 2. 14 minus 2, 12. If you look, we have this really long piece of pizza. Okay? When you're organized, it helps. Let me make a problem that that this would kind of impact. So let's say I have a problem like, let's say 12 divided by 3 times, let's do 5. Okay, so if we do PEMDAS and we didn't know that weird rule, watch what happens. All right, so we would go through parentheses, no, exponents, no, multiplication, yes. We do have multiplication. We would get 15, and then we'd have 12 divided by 15, and we would get 12 over 15, which is not the correct answer. This is actually wrong. That is wrong. What you do, you go in order from left to right, because remember, multiplication, division, they're like equal, so it doesn't matter which one you do first. You go from left to right. So let's look at this problem again, and let's do it the way we're supposed to be doing it. So 12 divided by 3 is actually the first one you would do, because remember, they're the same, so you go left to right. 12 divided by 3 is 4. we bring down our 5. 4 times 5 is 20. This is the correct way to do it. Hopefully that clarifies some of the questions you might have on the order of operations. If you struggle with the order of operations, all of high school and a lot of middle school math is going to be extremely hard, borderline impossible for you guys to do. So make sure you have a good understanding on this, and hopefully this helped. Thank you.